Hello there and welcome to Ringgit Sense Plus. I'm Azaria Tagaya. It's almost 2 weeks into the new year. One of the biggest changes this year is that smokers cannot smoke in a restaurant. And if they do want to light up, they have to smoke at least 3 meters away. And meanwhile, cafes, open-air restaurants and coffee shops are starting to complain that business has been really quiet as smokers are staying away since they can't light up after a meal or while enjoying a drink. The easy way to see this is good news for non-smokers and bad news for the restaurants and also for smokers. Well, we at Ringgit Sense Plus wanted to look at this from another angle. Does this mean that smokers are actually going to end up saving money if they spend less by going out? What can they do with all the money that they're saving monthly?
The move by the government to ban smoking at restaurants is highly unpopular among smokers and some restaurant owners. We visited a few restaurants to speak to smokers on how they felt about the ban.
Saya perokok. Alhamdulillah, sekarang dekat kedai tak boleh hisap rokok. Jadi saya terpaksa tahan diri. Tapi dari segi niaga, makin cepat turnaround. Pasal yang perokok tu tak duduk lama.
Sekejap aja dia duduk, tak payah dia duduk lama-lama kan. Lepas tu dia bangun lah, dia nak merokok, dia pergilah tempat lain. Betul tak? Ini kita ashtray semua saya dah simpan lah.
Customer memang dah berkurangan. Dari dulu sampai sekarang tu memang ada beza.
Some of the smokers we spoke to said the ban has already helped them save money.
Biasanya kalau macam kat kedai makan tu kalau orang merokok, dia orang akan keep sebab dia orang bercakap kan. Jadi rokok tu akan jadi macam lepas batang kita hisap, lepas tu kita akan repeat lagi sebatang sebab kita tengah bercakap kan. Tapi kalau contoh sekarang nak merokok tu macam dah cukup lah sebatang dah cukup lah, tak payah nak repeat dah. Ada gak penyematan dia.
Saya rasa boleh kurangkan rokok lah memang lah. Macam saya dengan kawan keluar biasa jika sangat senang rokok banyak lah. Tapi sekarang macam 2-3 jam pun satu atau 2 batang sajalah.
Ada rasa penjimatan tak dengan kurangnya?
Oh, memang.
Berapa beza jimat dulu dengan sekarang?
Wah, banyak. Biasa jika dengan kawan 2 jam boleh habis 1 kotak. Tapi sekarang 1 atau 2 batang saja.
Ada rasa penjimatan tak dengan adanya undang-undang ni?
Tak ada. Rokok tegar ni memang akan belilah walau bagaimanapun.
If you are a smoker, you probably know by now that the chances of you getting a major illness is very high. Have you ever asked yourself how you'll pay for it?
Setakat ni tak ada lah insurans kesihatan, cuma insurans lain tu ada lah, insurans kesihatan tak ada.
Cik sendiri ada polisi insurans tak?
Ada.
Sekarang pakai polisi insurans apa
Ada banyak.
Antaranya?
Ada medical, life, critical illness, semua pun ada lah.
Okey.
Dia kira macam ni lah. Kalau dia time dia dah nak mati, dia matilah. Dia hisap rokok ke dia tak hisap rokok, kena langgar dengan kucing ke, mati ke kan. Itu je.
40 tahun merokok. So nak buang tak mungkin lah. Kalau soal mati ni pada saya ajal tak ada apa pun.
Well, we have one advice for smokers. Get health insurance while you're still healthy. Your premium will be more expensive if you are a smoker. Don't lie when signing up because insurance companies will deny any claims when they find out. More importantly, look into getting critical illness coverage. It's additional coverage for 36 illnesses most prevalent among Malaysians. Among the illnesses covered are heart attacks, stroke, and cancer. A critical illness plan will give you a lump sum payment based on the severity level of your ailment. For example, if you buy a plan with a sum assured of 30,000 ringgit, 25% of that amount will be payable once you're diagnosed with early stage cancer. However, if you're diagnosed for it at a later stage of the illness, you will be able to receive 50% of the sum assured. The insurance company will, of course, deny your claim if they find out that it is a pre-existing condition. For example, if you unfortunately develop lung cancer and the insurance company can prove it's directly caused by smoking, it's a reason they can use to deny your claims later on. If you want to learn more about critical illness insurance plans, go to RinggitPlus to read the articles there.
According to the World Health Organization, an estimated 20,000 adult males in Malaysia die every year due to complications from a smoking habit. So for parents who are the sole income earners of the family, this means leaving your family in a very bad situation. So consider getting yourself life insurance. And also remember never to lie on the application form when they ask if you're a smoker.
While many restaurants are complaining that their businesses have declined, it remains to be seen if this will be permanent and smokers will eventually return to eating out.
Now, if you think that you can't afford life and health insurance, let's take a look at the numbers. If you smoke a packet of cigarettes a day, that's 17 ringgit each day. In a month, that's already 510 ringgit. Now, if you earn about 3,000 ringgit per month, that's 17% of your salary. So you can definitely afford life and health insurance if you cut down on your smoking habit or perhaps even quit totally.
You probably won't take health advice from us, but at least take the advice on personal finance from us. Protect yourself and your family.
Well, we hope the story gave you some ideas about putting your money to work for you. We're going for a short break, and in the meantime, we have more stories about personal finance on our Facebook page. Leave a comment there and let us know what you thought of the story you just watched. Catch you in a bit. Thanks for staying with us. You're still on Ringgit Sense Plus with me, Azaria Tagaya. Now, have you heard of the saying, a fool and his money are soon parted? Well, it means that if someone acts foolishly with their money, they won't have it for very long. This brings us to our next story about investment scams. It's all too common to hear in the news about victims losing thousands of ringgit to scams. What seems like a lucrative investment with high returns soon turns to heartbreak with money they will most likely never see again. So how do you end up not being a fool and easily parted from your money? We spoke to the Financial Planning Association of Malaysia, and they gave us some signs to watch out for.
According to Lynette Lee, the CEO of the Financial Planning Association of Malaysia, most of the investment scams have the same trait. Investment scammers prey on your ego and greed. In an economic downturn, people are more desperate to get returns when other regulated investments are not giving returns. A normal investment will give you time to review the prospectus and get advice from others. A scammer uses high-pressure techniques to get you to invest now and will not let you consult others.
For those who are hesitant, the next thing they will do is they will write on your ego. You know, if you do this for your family, they will think very highly of you. You will be the hero of the family. So all these things will make you very interested to invest. And on top of that, the returns is not annualized. They will tell you between a quarter or a month. So these are the telltale signs.
Ponzi schemes have been grabbing the headlines lately, with victims often appearing in the media complaining of huge losses. Victims will be recruited by friends or families with promises of high regular returns. Initially, they will see returns, but as they recruit more people, that is when the Ponzi scheme will start to collapse. The only ones that will really benefit are the masterminds at the top of the pyramid and maybe the early recruiters.
Ponzi schemes are those whereby they will recruit people to invest, and then when the people put in the money, they use this money to pay the earlier people who have invested. You notice I say people, I don't say investors, because this is a scam.
Worst case scenario, the victims who have recruited their family members will also end up being investigated by the police for helping commit fraud and cheating. Ponzi schemes sometimes disguise their scam as a multi-level marketing scheme. A legitimate multi-level marketing business will make money from selling products or services and not from recruiting more members who pay a joining fee.
MLM is multi-level marketing, and what they normally do is they have products which they will sell, and they recruit people to come and do the business. So that is their mainstay. But Ponzi scheme, there's nothing there. Actually, there is the so-called investment, but you don't see any investment. They'll probably give you a confirmation slip, but then you don't really see your money. Initial stages, they'll give you some money to show you that there are some returns. After that, they will disappear. So it's not sustainable.
Another popular investment scam that you should watch out for are foreign currencies trading, or Forex. It's a highly risky form of trading. Previously, there have been reports of fresh graduates being recruited to work in a Forex company. They will be told to get their family and friends to invest money to trade in highly risky deals online. For those with little knowledge, you can lose money and find that you have no one to complain to if the trading company is not registered in Malaysia. If you find yourself in a risky situation, close the account to avoid further losses. Lynette adds that money games are another popular type of pyramid scheme disguised as an investment platform.
Money game, they talk about lifestyle, they talk about how you can get rich. They pander to the needs and wants that you want in life. So that you look at it and you say, hey, you know, if this person can make it, it'll be very interesting. You want a piece of that investment as well. So you give money. And surprisingly, until today, there are still some people who still think that it's a genuine scheme, and they still want to go in and they still leave their money there. When already the person has been caught, and in 3 different countries, they're already prosecuted already.
Only invest in something that has the approval of the Securities Commission in Malaysia. If they tell you that they have the approval of other countries, it's a sign you should walk away.
Scammers are getting more sophisticated, they're getting cleverer. They will always write on something that you are familiar with. And one of the things that they like to say is, our company is set up in Singapore. Why? Because everybody knows that the Monetary Authority of Singapore is very, very rigid and very stringent. So they give you the air of assurance by saying that they are registered there. But whether the scheme that they have, the investment scheme, is registered with them, we don't know. So that is where they use that portion, and then you say, it's from Singapore, it must be good, because they are so stringent there. So people fall into it.
So how do you know if it's regulated by Bank Negara or the Securities Commission? Do your research by visiting their website. They also have tips on investment scams that you should watch out for. Always double check with these 2 authorities before investing in anything. If you find yourself the unfortunate victim of an investment scam, make an immediate police report so that the authorities can freeze their assets.
Before you make a complaint, you need to have all your facts. So you need to have your timeline, what happened, the chronology of what happened, and if you can, keep all your receipts, keep all the correspondence that you have done, because this every little bit will help the regulators to be able to trace this and catch the culprits.
Lynette's last advice is to consult a licensed financial planner or advisor. You can find one at Smart Finance. The next time someone proposes an investment to you, don't feel pressured that you have to invest. Do your research and ask a professional for advice.
Want to share what you just watched? Well, while we go on a short break, take out your handphone and find us on Facebook or YouTube. You can share the stories we have aired with your friends. Let us know if the tips we shared was useful, or if there are other personal finance topics that you'd like us to cover. We'll see you in a while. Back with me, Azara Tagaya, on Ringgit Sense Plus. If you just joined the show, we're still talking about scams. Phone scams, shopping scams, investment scams. It seems that scammers are everywhere and are always looking for a fool to part with their money. We asked our partners at RinggitPlus for more tips on avoiding getting scammed.
It's the age of social media, and everyone is sharing something on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. However, have you ever thought about how scammers can use the information you share about your daily life against you? Fikri Kamarudin, the head of operations at RinggitPlus, says scammers are always on the lookout for any information they can use against you.
So this kind of information can go towards, leads towards what we call social engineering. So this social engineering is something of what an act of technique or that people use to try to get as much information from you. So this can go towards getting towards a scam or this kind of phishing or baiting that they will use those information that they know about you and try to get more information. Because the more they know about you, and the better the scheme will be.
Here's an example Fikri gives. If you share information that you have a police summons or ticket, hackers can then call you and pretend to be the police or some other government authorities. They'll tell you that they need more information, like your banking info, so that they can clear your summons immediately. The trick here is to make you feel desperate enough so that you'll settle it with them instead of through proper channels. Fikri adds that you should be very careful in giving out your full name and IC number online. There are many online sites which will ask for this info, but have you ever asked if this personal data you give to them is secure? Be careful also in giving out a photocopy of your IC. When using a photocopy machine in a public area, make sure you destroy any unused copies so that scammers can't get a hold of it. Basic information like this can be used to steal your identity and apply for bank loans.
This kind of identity theft that we normally see in the current situation right now is that most of people in Malaysia, they are not even aware that their identity has been stolen by somebody else and has applied for a card or for a personal loan or home loan, but something that they are not aware of. But eventually, until one point where they receive a bill and say, outstanding bill of 20 or 40,000, and we'll be like, wow, when did I actually spend 20,000 or 40,000 on this? So eventually, at that point, they will be like, it's too late to do something about it, but you can still contact the bank to actually report about it.
We live in a digital age where everything now requires a password or PIN number. So, what are good practices in setting passwords? Don't save the password in a physical location that can be easily stolen. Many websites now require you to use a combination of alphabets and numbers. Some will also need you to use small and large cap characters. This increases the difficulty of scammers guessing your password.
What you can do is actually create something to make it even more solid. You can actually mix a combination or combine your personal information that no one knows to make it even solid. So for example, if you say that my favorite color is grey, my wife's name is so on so on. So you can combine 2, 3, 4 of those information and put it into a password. When you put it that way, it makes it even more difficult for other people to actually try and guess your password.
If you can't remember all your passwords, get a password management app.
Make sure that the password that you create is, make sure that you don't create one same password and use it for multiple accounts. So for example, if you're using for banking purposes, with your email, with your all this social media, using the same password, with that just for one person to know that password, they can actually gain access to all other of your channels. And also be careful of where you are sharing those passwords, or where you are storing those passwords. Some people, what we've known about Malaysians is they're very they love to share their password, or they love to store their passwords in their phones, in their laptops, in somewhere that they can easily look at it. But what they are not aware of is someone hijacked and someone is watching what you're doing on your phone, someone is watching what you're doing on your laptop, so they can actually see what your password is.
Have you ever been in a situation where you're interested in getting more info, and after giving your information to the website, you find yourself getting calls from telemarketers and spam emails you've never heard of? Most likely, your contact information has been leaked or shared with telemarketers.
It's a wrongful act for some people if they are selling this data without the consent of consumer. But as a consumer, if you are giving the consent as part of the PDPA, is if we are giving a consent to this data user to process our data or to sell our data or to pass to another party, and that's where eventually we will not be aware or we'll be like surprised when we see someone calling us, but we already give the consent to these parties to use the data or even to pass to a third party.
With online shopping becoming popular, credit cards have become a popular data for hackers to steal. So what can you do to secure your online transaction?
To make sure that every time you use a card to purchase online is to be aware of the process and the payment gateway that is used on the website. So for example, if you are purchasing something, make sure that the process is when you key in your card, it doesn't display all your information about the card. And it doesn't store your CVV, which is basically what most people are not aware of the importance or the crucial importance of the CVV. So when you purchase online and key in and make sure that there's a 6-digit PIN as part of a security purpose. So when it transfers you a certain payment gateway, make sure that payment gateway is something that is secure payment gateway.
Fikri says, given an option, consumers should use their credit cards instead of their debit card for online shopping. If a scammer steals your debit card information, they can clear out your bank account.
Positive thing about using a credit card is in case of a fraud or a scam and this kind of activities, it's mostly it will be reimbursed by the bank, and instead of putting that pressure on the consumer to pay that 20 or 40k or 50k of outstanding transaction that they have not made, is actually being covered by the bank.
The next time you want to share something online, ask yourself, is this really necessary?
If you think you may be a victim of a scam, our advice is to immediately speak to the authorities so that an investigation can be done. There are much safer investment options out there. Go to our Facebook page or find us on YouTube, and you can watch some of our previous stories where we give you a lot of ideas on starting an education or retirement fund. As with all investments, there are risks involved. So remember to invest and save wisely. I'm Azara Tagaya. Thanks for watching and see you soon.